I think you really thrive in the shadows. I also think you consider success, your idea of success is only conditioned by the way other people view you. So, what I mean by that is like, I feel like you consider making yourself appear successful a greater success than like true actual success. I'm getting like with these two cards, like the Enchanter, the Illusionist, I feel like you have given up a part of yourself that is true. You've given up a part of your appearance that was based in truth in order to just put off a persona, put off a mask. Like we also got the mask of happiness. So I think like if someone sees you and thinks you're happy and thinks you're a bright energy or thinks you are very stable or you have it, you just have it, like you have it together, I think that almost can convince you that you're okay. Like it's not the actual, like I don't think you've ever actually felt that you did have it together or that you did like feel happy or truthful or successful. But I think if you show that to other people and if you give that perception to other people, like give people cause to have that perception of you, then that is almost how you define success. And Spirit is really asking you to let this go. And I think it's really preventing you from feeling successful. 202 on the timer, as I said that. So there's something about coming into balance, and this is really about like breaking some sort of karmic cycle related to trauma and healing, but also like the unknown and perception and the persona you carry. It really has to do with your persona. Because I think like you may identify with being some sort of class clown figure, or like people might see you as having a very bright, positive energy, which really masks all of the darkness you feel. You have such a duality to you. You have a very like you could have identified with having gone through several dark nights of the soul and carrying a lot of traumatic stories, somatic stories. I'm getting like just this dis-ease that lives in your body. You could have gone through that a lot. Like I feel like we also got these two cards, so wolf and fox in the Celtic perception and Celtic astrology. I kind of feel like the wolf is the persona that you put off, and yet you're more like a fox. Like you have this cunningness about you. You're very clever but also secretive. Like you may feel like other people may perceive you as like hiding something, but they can't put their finger on it, so they just kind of take what you give them. And I feel like you have this illusion of control. Like if you can control your people's perception of you, that really makes you feel like you're going to be okay. It's like you have to control the situation. That's your way of controlling the situation, is controlling the way people perceive you. When in actuality, controlling the situation would be more so just having this like self-belief and this self-truth that like no matter how people see you or perceive you, if you stand in your truth, that is what your success will be. That is where your fulfillment will come from. So I feel like there's really like Spirit is asking you to appreciate yourself right now enough to be truthful, enough to stand true in your identity and your authenticity. So we got these mindful message cards. I am enough, self appreciation, and magic. So I feel like, especially with this mirror card, like I feel like you're being called to like really have all of the feelings you feel internally be shown on the outside, and that like there's something about like how you need to learn to appreciate that about yourself rather than seeing it as some sort of weakness. I do feel like you see it as a weakness and that's why you don't show it, or you may feel like it's just unrelatable or something, like you feel like it's just not something that you're allowed to show, so you just feel like this guardedness or this you need to put on this false portrayal. But I feel like Spirit is telling you that that's actually the magic in you, is this duality to you, this beautiful darkness and light and shadow in balance. It's like it's all the shadow work you do that really makes you who you are, and that is your strength. That is your true essence in the world, is to bring light to the darkness. I feel like that could almost be like your true path is to bring light to the darkness. And show this duality and show strength in duality rather than just being one thing and fitting one mold. And I feel like this is really something karmic, and it could feel something ancestral. I do get this ancestral energy with it. It's like, especially back to the wolf card, like there's a ghost on here, so I feel like there is something about like there is like lineage to this persona that you carry of like being the class clown and like shoving your emotions down and just feeling like you can almost like talk your emotions away through joking about it. Like you could like make a lot of self-deprecating jokes, and like that eases the pain almost. It like making like you could have a very dark sense of humor, and I feel like that's something that was recurrent in your family. You may identify with having like teasing in your family or just a lot of joking in your family, so you learned that like loving yourself is can only come through like making yourself a joke, turning yourself into a joke, turning your pain into comedy. And it's not that that's a bad thing, but it's really seeing the truth of that, seeing the truth in that and embracing your truth in that, and not like as a cover up or like a mask, not using it as a mask of happiness. And I do feel like this is, you may see this in a lot of other members in your family or like previous members of your family, people that have passed. And it's like kind of this recurring thing. 727 was just on the timer as I said that, which is like my ultimate angel number. That's the birthday of my great grandmother. She was actually born July 27th, 2027. Oh my God, 2027. That's not what I meant to say. 1927. That is the birthday of my great grandmother. So I feel like that's just like my ultimate ancestor number. Because it's like such a divine birthday and such a magical birthday. And I think she was such a magical person. And I feel so connected to her, even in her death. I don't know why I'm being called to talk about that as well, but that could be significant for someone. And I feel like I'm just being called to talk about your ancestors. Like, I feel like this is almost a sign from your ancestors to let this go because that actually caused, they may have caused them a lot of pain and a lot of, like, I think, okay, this is what I'm getting. I feel like your ancestors had to have this mask, had to have this mask on because of the world they were living in, because of what they were going through. But just because that is what you learned, that is not something you need to replicate. That is something you can let go because you actually don't need to do that. Like you are in a much more like primer position I'm getting than they were. So you're only really doing that because it's a cycle, because it's something you were taught, but it's not something that's actually required of you. If you think that you may have a subconscious belief that it is required of you, but spirit and your ancestors are saying that you can let this go now and you can just live in your truth and live without having to cover yourself, without having to live in the shadows. You can live in the light. Like you don't need to hide anymore, is really what I'm getting. So if you resonated with this message, I would love to hear from you. I loved this message so much. So please let me know down below if this resonated with you.